We are continuing to look into workers' compensation in today's Know Your Rights segment with Catherine Stone from Barbas Law. And this morning we are discussing undocumented workers injured on the job. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. So this is another one of those hot topics.
It is another hot topic, and again, it's something that is constantly being talked about in my office. It's constantly being talked about with other attorneys who practice in this area, and it's constantly being talked about with attorneys that practice immigration.
And with politics.
And with politics.
Thus we were talking about there might be some changes ahead, but let's talk about currently.
So currently the way the law stands right now is if you are an undocumented worker and you get hurt on the job and your employer has workers' comp coverage, you should be accepted into the system with a compensable injury. Which means they would have to provide you with medical treatment related to that injury. And if you're taken totally off work, they would have to pay you for your time off work. Now, there's an issue about an undocumented worker being entitled to what we call temporary partial disability benefits, which is basically you've got restrictions, but you can't return back to doing the type of work that you were doing, but you're not totally off work.
Okay.
Because they're not supposed to legally work in the United States.
This just seems like there's a...
Right. There's an argument they shouldn't be entitled to that particular benefit, although I've seen carriers go ahead and pay that benefit. So you can get loss in wages and you can get medical treatment. The kicker has become, as of late, is that the law also says, as of 2003, if you use false identification to obtain that employment or to seek medical treatment under the workers' comp system, you can be charged with a felony. And that law changed in 2003, so basically undocumented workers were using false Social Security numbers to obtain employment. I will also tell you there are employers out there that don't necessarily check that their employees have correct Social Security numbers, and there's a lot of employers that turn a blind eye to it. I've seen it in my practice. I know other attorneys have too. And so I was just reading before I came to the studio today that there is a push in the legislature, the Florida legislature right now, to change that law, to basically take out that provision about the false identification, because it seems we're going to provide you benefits, but then we're going to have you arrested and deported because you used false identification when you had a legitimate accident on the job and you have legitimate injuries. The article I was reading actually said something like 800 people had been charged with felonies as a result of this, but a good number of them had real accidents and real injuries and should have received the compensation that the state has said that they're entitled to. So it's a very, very big issue, and unfortunately a lot of injured undocumented workers with really bad injuries are not reporting them because for that fear.
I would imagine so, absolutely.
They're for that fear of deportation.
So as we kind of get ready to wrap it up here, what's your take home? What do you think when it comes to this issue? Obviously there's going to be changes ahead too.
I would anticipate that there's going to be changes maybe within the next year or two with regards to workers' compensation, but as of right now, the message just says undocumented workers do have the ability to receive benefits through the workers' compensation system. Whether or not they choose to do that, I mean, I would say consult with an attorney and have them evaluate your case and see whether or not it would be in your best interest.
Okay. Well said. I love it. Then that's what's certainly why you're here every week, to consult with an attorney, and whether it's this issue or many others that I know you and your team do as well. But we'll make sure and put up the info there. There's the number to call, the website as well, to email your questions as well. They love those as well too. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Catherine.